Hello friends, this is Dr. John WorldPeace JD. I'm a doctor of jurisprudence, doctor of law, not a medical doctor. I am the independent maverick candidate for president November 2020. And I have a huge website at Dr. John WorldPeace JD for President USA 2020.com. It's down in the description part of this video. I want to talk this morning about the idea of slavery reparations. It's a folly of the Democratic Party. It's a folly of moron candidates for president. Sorry. I think you'll see what I'm talking about here as I go forward. From a personal legal damages perspective, slavery reparations is pure nonsense. We're 154 years beyond the end of slavery after a horrible civil war. That is 7 generations. That means there's no one presently living on the planet whose parent was a slave in America. Let me begin with an immediate pushback against these reparations. Any reparations for slavery must be directed to families of the Union soldiers who died and were wounded in freeing of the slaves. So if you want to give $1 trillion for slavery reparations, that money must go to Union soldiers who died and were wounded committed to ending slavery. A second major point is that Native Americans be also given 10 times whatever reparations given to the blacks related to slavery. Slaves were property and they had value. They were not, as a matter of course, killed. Native Americans were murdered and their land stolen. And what is also true is that Buffalo soldiers, black American cavalry soldiers, murdered Native Americans. So there is a legacy among blacks from Buffalo soldiers of committing genocide against Native Americans. So another part of my reparations related to blacks for slavery must be allocated to Native Americans. This would leave all the black reparations to be given to Union soldiers who fought to end slavery and died and were wounded, and to Native Americans. Genocide is the most heinous of all crimes against humanity and therefore in line with reparations. We need to deed over all reservation lands to Native Americans and bring them into full citizenship in America. The reservation land that belongs to the Native Americans is held in trust, and they are not allowed to reap the benefits that come from land ownership. Someone said to me on the internet the other day that the blood of slavery and the backs of slavery is what built American society. I don't doubt that. I don't disagree with that. But I responded and said every home on American soil is sitting on top of Native American blood. So you tell me what's worse, being murdered or being enslaved where you at least were alive? If you're going to go for slavery reparations, then you need to go for Native American genocide related reparations. Additionally, while we're on the subject, we need to add reparations for Japanese Americans who were unconstitutionally interned in concentration camps in World War II. I mean, let's get everybody on board. Let's make a clean sweep here. But even more importantly, we need to set aside reparation money for American women of all colors who were denied the vote until the 19th century was 19th Amendment was ratified in 1920, and who have therefore undeniably been second-class American citizens since the founding of America. What I'm saying in this shorthand rendition of reparations, the reparations issue, is that any candidate who promotes reparations is a moron and ignorant of American injustice, the scope of American injustice. And we're not going to carve out a pot of money for the slavery issue and ignore the Japanese issue, ignore the women's issue, and ignore the Native American issue. They're all equal. Really, they're not equal, but they're all in the same category. To even suggest spending 1 red cent to even consider the problem is nonsense. It's a lot of nonsense by Democratic candidates for president whose brain pan is too empty to get down to the real details of the really important issues that are facing America. Let reparations be discussed in the universities, and let politicians stay with current issues and not waste time trying to relitigate 400-year-old history about the sins of our fathers and mothers. In addition, let me speak directly to candidate Elizabeth Warren. You've reaped the benefits of touting your infinitesimal Native American heritage, yet you have given the most incremental effort to actually promoting Native American rights even before you endorsed slavery reparations. What are you thinking? Any blacks, politicians, or otherwise who do not cobble Native American reparations with slavery reparations and the other crimes of the past I have mentioned above need to be ignored as insincere beggars looking for a government handout with no provable damages, and Democratic politicians looking to buy votes. The reparations issue is nonsense. There are no provable damages. What are you going to do with the money? Where are you going to get the money? Are you going to ignore the Japanese? Are you going to Americans? Are you going to ignore the Native Americans? Are you going to ignore the women? The abuse is there, just like slavery. But again, I would say Native American genocide is a much more extreme crime against humanity due reparations than slavery. Both are bad, but genocide is way beyond the abuses of slavery. I said give the Native Americans back their reservation land. That's going to be really hard to do, but that's what justice would look like. Everything that's not reservation land was stolen from the Native Americans. So let's get all the issues on the table. Let's get all the facts on the table. And when you look at this issue, starting to go back into the injustices of the past and different times is just stupid. It's just the folly of Democratic candidates for president who don't even have the qualifications to run for president. You want to see what the qualifications to run for president, my qualifications, which none of these candidates have? Go to Dr. John WorldPeace JD for President USA 2020.com. See below for these links. And then let's just forget about these reparations. It's a waste of time. Got too many other issues to deal with. This is Dr. John WorldPeace JD. It's Monday, April the 8th, and thank you for your consideration.